everyone, Old School Pokemon here, back again from our Vegas adventures. Had so much fun over there, but back again with podcast episode number 16, where we'll of course answer all you guys' questions, and then we'll jump into talking Vegas afterwards, which will be super exciting. How are you doing tonight, Dan?
I'm doing very well. We've got quite a few questions, so it'll be quite a while till we get to the Vegas talk, but I'm excited for that, and we've got some really good questions for the night. So how have you been since Vegas?
Oh, I've been doing good. Feels like it's been quite a while since that trip.
It is weird. Yeah, it was only today's the 20th. This will go live on the 21st. The break was the 9th, right? So not even 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Which
Yep.
is crazy to think, but yeah.
No, it really is. But we'll get to talking about all of that after we answer the questions. So be sure to stay tuned for the whole episode, or just use the timestamps to skip to the juicy part. But so my first question for this week comes from Dag Green Shiz Collectibles. Hopefully I said that right. Dag Green Shiz. I think that's how you say it. But he asks, why separate Patreons? So in case anyone doesn't know, Jake over with Pokenomics and Dan partnered up together with their Patreon, and I created a Patreon, or I joined a Patreon with Pallet Town TCG and Crystal Pokemon. But the reason me and Dan didn't create a Patreon together is because Dan actually hates me. So he didn't want to work with me. That's why.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess the real answer, I'm a pretty small channel still, relatively speaking. I think we're both fairly small. Jake got in touch with me a few months ago about joining on with him. He thought that I could bring him added value, and it did work out that way to where I could help him out, kind of joining on one that's up and running and it's got some momentum. So kind of a mutually beneficial thing. And then same thing happened with Nick. I mean, I think we go well together, and I think we do well with this podcast, but it might be news to some people that we're like, we do our own thing a little bit too. So I made a joke before we started recording, and I wasn't sure if I was going to bring it in, but yeah, we sleep in different beds. We live in different houses. Sorry to burst anybody's bubble if that is news, but yeah, that's it though. And so I guess a nice little plug off the bat to go check out both of our Patreons. Make some good content outside of our good content here in the podcast.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, that Dan's answer is the correct one. The timing just worked out better, where he left me and I left him. I cried for a couple nights afterwards, but it's okay.
We're gonna stick it out here though. We're gonna stay together for the family, right?
Oh yeah. We're sticking together for this one. So my first real question is from Matthew B. He asks, do you guys think any of the celebrations cards, like the Gold Star Umbreon, base set starter hollows, Shining Magikarp, etc., will affect the prices of the older versions of the cards? I'm curious how it will compare to evolutions in this regard. I think it's gonna follow a similar trend as evolutions, where I don't think celebrations pricing is going to affect the original cards, but I do think there's going to be a market for celebrations. But I think it's similar to base set Charizard and evolutions Charizard. Evolutions Charizard, a really good card, but I don't think it affects the price at all of the original base set Charizard, just because it does have those subtle differences, and it's not the quote unquote original base set Charizard. So I think it's going to be a similar trend with celebrations. But yeah, I do think celebrations is going to act similar to evolutions, in the sense that it is going to be widely available for quite some time. And then whenever it finally does go out of print, I think it's going to be a really good set that sticks around for quite some time. I'm definitely planning on picking up a few specific cards from celebrations. I do want to get some of the Gold Star Umbreons, and then some of the Charizards, and then some of the Shining Magikarps as well. But that would be my answer. I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah, for me, I feel like if anything, a reprint has a negligible to maybe a slightly positive effect, because for people like us, we're familiar with the original. A lot of us probably have it already. For some amount of new people, it will turn them on to it. So, like, some amount of new people will see an open celebrations, they'll hit that Charizard and they'll think, man, I want to get the original too. Certain people might have always wanted a base Charizard. They get the celebrations one, and then that's enough for them. So, like, you're going to have some amount of people who that satisfies them. They don't go back. Some amount of people will go back and still grab it. Like I said, overall, maybe no effect, maybe slightly positive. I don't really see to where like tens of thousands of people, oh, I've got my Gold Star Umbreon now, let me sell my original. And then the price of that just tanks. Because if the price of the original were to go down to where it's cheaper than the new one, you'd get a lot of people going back to that older one, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like out of the gate, early singles prices didn't make sense because in some cases, like Charizard especially, some of those were going for $500. You could get like a pretty clean base unlimited one for that price. So, and I think the market realized that the price dipped a bunch, and I think we're down around $100 a piece now, which to me still feels a little high, but feels more reasonable.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So yeah, that's what I think. Like not much effect, if anything, maybe a little more positive than negative.
I would agree with that.
So my first question comes from Cardboard Origins. Here's my easy question. Have you ever had the empty box scam on eBay? So in his case, he opened an empty box. He it almost sounds like he felt it was empty. He filmed his opening just in case. eBay sided with him though, fully refunded. So the seller that he bought from, they had 20 other feedback all at once that week, people claiming the same thing. So basically it was either a hacked eBay account that somebody was trying to siphon a bunch of money off of, or it was a person getting done with it just trying to scam a few $1,000s,
Hmm.
kind of their exit strategy. Um it's not something that I like talking about a lot because it's kind of, I hope it doesn't bring any more eyes to it or like, oh hey, let me go do that too. But um empty box scam as a buyer, I don't know that I've ever had, but like as a seller, a couple months ago, I forget if I talked about it in an earlier podcast, but someone bought a CGC 9 staff Lugia from Vivid Voltage, $400 card at the time. Right when they received it, they mentioned they thought it was fake. I'm like, hey, I opened this myself out of a staff pack. I graded it myself. It's real. Return it if you want to, but it's real. And they sent back an empty thing. I actually intended to film it, even though I think filming it is weird because like nobody's ever going to watch that tape, I don't believe.
I don't think so.
But I forgot to. It was with like 20 packages that day at my PO box. So I just opened it and I went through a whole process with eBay. I think given my thousands of transactions over the years, my long record with them, initially they sided against me. They said, nope, you're refunding the seller or the buyer. But I called them up and I'm like, hey, this isn't going to happen. Like this person's not going to scam me for this. You're not going to make me lose $400. I had to call and do a police report and sign an affidavit, basically opening myself up to where I would have been committing a crime had I committed perjury, like signing that affidavit, lying about getting an empty box back. So jumping through all those hoops, they refunded me. Um, That's the first time I've had to go through that in years. It's not a super common thing, thankfully. If and when those things ever happen, make sure you do all you can do. Like, don't just leave a negative feedback. Like, call eBay, escalate everything as high as you can, because the fact that like that seller had 20 of those happen in 1 week, 20 people contacting eBay all at once about an issue, eBay is going to know that like 20 individual people aren't lying. So in my case too, like I Googled the guy's name. He came up on Facebook. He came up a couple different places as having done it before. So my thinking is like eBay saw his case history and it just made them that much more likely to side with me, even though they made me do the affidavit and all that. But yeah, it's an unfortunate reality in any market, any hobby you're in. I mean, every every store has some percentage of loss due to theft and stuff like that. So it's just the world we live in. But that's my experience. How about you, Nick?
I don't have any cool stories. No, that's actually never happened to me. Knock on wood. I've never been in a situation like that where either I've bought in something and the seller shipped an empty box or some other item, and then same thing with selling. I've never sold something where or I've had a few instances where the buyer claims they didn't receive it, but it's never a time where the buyer
Like
claims.
PWE stuff, right?
Oh, PWE, I don't even count that.
Yeah, yeah.
That's typical. But with like first class mail, priority mail, I've had a few times where tracking says it's been delivered and the buyer will claim, "Hey, I never received this." It's never amounted to anything where they actually got a refund or anything like that. But then I've never had a case where they said they received it, but it was an empty box, or they returned an empty box or anything like that. So fortunately, hopefully that never happens to me. But yeah, it does happen on occasion for sure. I don't understand the whole recording the opening though. I don't know. I've heard mixed reviews on that. I've heard some people, like with the person who asked the question. I've heard it works for some people. I've heard it doesn't work for other people. I just find it hard to believe that someone at eBay is actually watching any of these videos and actually taking these videos into account, because it's so easy to kind of forge a video of you opening a pack or opening a box or whatever, with how you can edit videos and all that. So I don't know if that does help at all. It does I'm sure it does make some people feel better to have that video proof, but in terms of actually helping your case, I don't know if it does help at all.
No matter what you do, there's always going to be a question of like, what happened once the video stopped?
Yep.
Is he buddies? Like some people, oh well, I record myself handing it to the clerk. Was that a real clerk? Did you play dress up at your house with your roommate and like stage a post office? Like
That's
you
true.
you can get real silly with like the amount of questions, but even opening an envelope, it's like you could open it on the back side through a little slit with a razor blade, and then you could seal it back up as
Yep.
if it like you could make it look like it was sealed and you were opening it for the first time. I mean, you could very easily you could make a convincing looking video that's just not reality.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
So thankfully I'm actually surprised to hear with your volume, with how many deals you've done, that you've not run into it at all. But even for me, like I was surprised. I had made it years since my prior one. This one was the first time in a long time. So it's good that it's rare. But that's why I kind of said like I hesitate talking about it too much, because it's just, yeah. I mean, I think we're a small enough channel, and I think we're not hitting like the mass mainstream YouTube, but if someone with 10 million views were to talk about it, some amount of those viewers are going to be like, oh, hey, I never thought of trying that.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's the biggest takeaway is you constantly hear about these stories of scam attempts happening, but in actuality, like both of us have that's only happened a few times for both of us. So in actuality, the percentage of times where you do get scammed as a buyer or a seller is very minimal. But definitely always do your due diligence especially when buying on eBay or anywhere really. Don't send friends and family when you're buying from a complete stranger.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But the situations where that actually happens, it's pretty uncommon situations there.
Mhm.
So my next question is going to be from John Evolved Collections. He asked it was a long question, so I'm just going to paraphrase it a little bit. Basically his question was asking about, because in our last podcast we were talking about building a website through Shopify, and so he was basically asking, why don't we build a website versus, or why don't more people within the Pokemon community who buy and sell have a website versus sell on eBay? And then he basically gave a few examples, that in the long run, the website's going to be cheaper because you're not paying those eBay fees, and then as well as it being kind of a missed opportunity within selling Pokemon cards, because like I said, like he said within the question, not many people actually have a website to sell Pokemon cards. And when you do have that website, you're kind of like building your brand. People will go back to you to purchase stuff, versus on eBay, you're just a small fish with everyone else competing with you, and there's really not a ton of loyalty on eBay. Most people who shop on eBay are just looking for the cheapest item available, and they're going to buy that copy. So my answer to that question, or my kind of website versus eBay talk for me anyway, would be, I would like to build a website at some point in the future. I think that's more so just a personal project for me, because I think it'd be really cool to have my own website and have people be able to buy cards off there versus directly on eBay. But from a business perspective, eBay is actually a really good deal. They take 10%, which is a decent percentage. But what you're getting for that 10% is you're getting a lot of good value. You're getting a massive audience viewing all of your items, which driving traffic to your own website is nearly impossible. You got to have a huge following on social media, which I don't have that type of following on social media. And it would just take a long time to kind of build up that following and get people to go to the website versus on eBay. But even outside of that, on the back end for eBay makes it really easy for you to, they call it bulk shipping, where when you go to package all your orders, you basically just pull your cards that you want to ship out, and then on the computer you click each transaction. You can enter the weight of each transaction, and you just click print, and it prints all of your labels at once. Whereas on a website, as far as I know, I don't know too much about websites, but as far as I know, it's going to be more of like an individual process where you're copying, pasting the address, printing out that label, then moving on to the next item, so on and so forth. So I think eBay they do charge a decent bit for the fees, but I think you're also getting a lot for those fees. So that's the biggest reason why I've always stuck with eBay versus going to a website.
I agree on all points. I think one of the biggest, most common mistakes in the hobby is like worrying too much about fees, because the reality is that, I mean, I have 1,000 listings roughly on eBay right now. The amount of traffic, the amount of eyes that they get, the amount of like sales volume I get, if I were to try to have my own website, it would be a tiny fraction, orders of magnitude less sales, views, everything. In a card that I sell on eBay for 100, there's still fees. Like when you run your own website, there's different kinds of fees. There's fees to maintain the domain name. There's fees to get it up and running if you want to like pay someone, make it look nice, because I can't do that stuff. Payment processing is still a thing. Like you're still going to have the 2 to 4% depending on what your volume is
Yep.
to accept a credit card. And I'm quite confident that like if I can get 100 for a card on eBay, sorry, uh, I can't get 90 on my own website. I mean, I'd be lucky to get so basically the eBay fee pays for itself. In my experiences and in my estimations, I guess. Someday, maybe, like Nick said, we both have fairly small social media footprints. If we grow more, maybe we could do more with it. But I do know a couple people that claim to have like pretty good success with their own website. So it's it's on my maybe to-do list someday down the line, but I don't know. eBay is just so easy and nice, and I'm happy to pay them the very reasonable fees they charge.
Yeah. That's the other thing is like I said, I know nothing about building a website or anything like that. And where you said where listing on eBay is easy, that is so true. I have a hard time with kind of changing my ways. I'm kind of set in my ways. And eBay for me at this point, it's like an automatic process for me. So it's really straightforward, really simple. I'm able to list something in really quick. It doesn't take me long to create an eBay listing anymore. And kind of switching over to a website, it would mean learning a whole new process, and that is always super frustrating for me. So that's another reason why I stick with eBay versus going to a website. But like I said, I'm actually talking to John about creating a website, and at some point that'll actually happen. But I think I'd like to create one just to have that secondary avenue of where people could buy stuff. But I think it would be years and years and years later where I could actually convert everything to the website and leave eBay, if ever. I think right now a website would be more or less just a personal project, something that I've wanted for a long time. At least for the foreseeable future.
I think PWCC will be an interesting example of what happens when you lose the visibility of eBay.
Yeah, that'll be really interesting to see what happens there,
because they've got a lot of very like that's the thing too. My inventory put on eBay, it just kind of works. My inventory on its own website is like I'm in a lot of different places, a lot of different. I mean, I've got some a decent bit of like lower end stuff, and then I've got some higher end stuff. There's not like an overall amazing theme. I'm kind of a bit. I mean, the theme is Pokemon, but like I'm a bit all over the place in the different things. CGC, PSA. I don't know. I'm not sure how well it would do, but maybe someday we'll find out. If and when I ever did do a website, like ultimately 100% leaving eBay, I don't anticipate would be like a reasonable thing. I never think, but I could be wrong there. Who knows?
it could become the next Troll and Toad.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, it's an interesting topic. I have thought about doing a website for quite some time, and it probably will happen eventually. But I don't think I'll ever completely leave eBay.
Yeah. It'd be tough.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So my next question came from Ernesto A. Do you guys collect other Pokemon stuff or just cards? I saw Gem Mint Pokemon had these Pikachu statues that look cool and were definitely rare. What are some of your coolest non-TCG collectibles? So yeah, Zach actually has, like I have the cards, the full art Pikachu cards. He's bought a couple of the trophies that actually came with the cards for the world's winners, first through fourth. I've almost bought a couple of those along with the cards, but like typically in my dealings, like the people were more attached to the physical trophy itself and they wanted more for the trophy than the card. So I'd just take the card. And so unfortunately, I was never able to get one of those because I think those are doing pretty well price wise recently too. But I've got a lot of non-card stuff, like probably too much. I'm bad lately. I've been buying way too much from the Pokemon Center. So like
You are addicted to the Pokemon Center.
I've been really bad. It started like they wrote me in with that whole special delivery Pikachu. I did like 30 or 35 orders to get all the free special delivery Pikachus. But then it's just become a habit that like weekly I'm looking on there. Oh, hey, that's a nice new playmat. So playmats, pins, plushes, um, then like older stuff, I've got a complete marble collection. I've got the battling coin collection. The trading figure game, I've got a bunch of those. I've got some random sealed stuff like the original Pokédex that you probably had when you were younger. Um, I've got toothbrush, Pikachu camera. Like, I need to do a video at some point. I still need to get like some shelves or something up here so I can just randomly pop some interesting oddball things in the background.
Yeah.
But yeah, so heaps and heaps of stuff, more than I even realize. I've actually got a stamp set of my son was asking the other day because I took it out like a month ago and I let him stamp all 150 original Pokemon he stamped on a piece of paper. And he wanted to do that again the other day, but I couldn't find where I put it. I couldn't find where I put it. It's lost right now. So a lot of Pokemon stuff, everything.
Well, I recently got into, and I think everyone should absolutely get into this, is pins.
Yeah.
I recently got into a small amount of pins, so if you guys are interested, I could be your supplier on pins. Pins, and I'll do a video on it soon, but the coins too. Everyone should start collecting pins and coins.
I've got one of each of like every one I've ever gotten in a product. I like them too.
I think I am gonna get like a cork board and put one of each of the pins on there because they are cool. But
I just ordered. It's like a little. It like hangs with a piece of string, and it's like a cloth thing that's made for holding pins and like displaying them if you were selling them at a show or something.
Okay.
I got a couple of those ordered so I could put my pin collections on there because as of right now I've got like a sheet of cardboard that they're just done to. I think like 10 podcasts ago I had it in the background.
I don't remember that. You might have.
Yeah.
Back when you actually had a background.
Yeah, I know. I got this nice new office now. I'm just too afraid to put holes in the wall.
No, so I do like the pins. But I was saying that as a joke since I have so many. But outside of cards, I actually don't do too much. The one thing that I did want for the absolute longest time was the Pokemon Snap Station. Ever since I saw that, I fell in love with it because I remember actually going to Blockbuster and playing the game on the Snap Station. So I do remember that from growing up as a kid, and ever since I saw I forget who I saw it from originally, who originally bought one, and I saw it. But it was years back, and whenever I did see that, that was kind of my ultimate goal was to eventually find and purchase one of those, and it took quite a long time to find one of those. Those things are incredibly hard to find. Plus, the logistics of it is nearly impossible because they weigh an absolute ton.
Yeah.
And shipping is really, really expensive. So at first I was trying to find one locally. That never happened. Then I finally did find one out in, I think the guy was out in Oregon, and I just paid to have it shipped to me. But yeah, outside of the cards, that's my one big collectible. That's about it, honestly. I don't think I have any other non-card items. I would like to get you have those that set of coins, the NGC coins that you have graded. I
The
forget
Niue, yeah.
what are those things called?
Niue, Niue is the
Yeah.
country, I think.
Yeah, I would like to get a set of those coins. Those are also pretty tough to find. You don't see too many on those on eBay.
There's actually a decent batch of them up now, but they're pricey. They're listed all at like $600-700 buy it now, I think, each.
Man,
Yeah.
I'll have to check those out.
Yeah. I still like I have one version of them. There's colorized, there's non-colorized, there's like copper clad, and then there's actual silver ones.
Hmm.
There's quite a few variations.
Yeah, I think that'd be my other non TCG collection goal would be that. But yeah, I'm really not that big into the other kinds of stuff just because mainly because of space, I would say for me.
Yeah.
It's tough to display all that kind of stuff. Especially I'm struggling to find space already, so
Yeah.
adding more stuff would make it an even bigger struggle. So my next question is from Grand R. He asks, where do you guys buy your supplies slash materials needed for shipping? Ink, paper, tape, etc. If you guys have a distributor, how do we go about signing up for one? So if you're talking about I think you're talking about distributors for supplies, but we can answer that one as well. So for shipping supplies and stuff like that, I just buy them directly off of eBay and Amazon. I usually do Amazon for my PWE envelopes. I actually buy this brand right here with the A, but I find that to be the cheapest. It's a cheaper option, but it's also a good quality envelope. So I just buy those off of Amazon, and then everything else I purchase off of eBay. um I would recommend buying like bubble mailers, for example, or really any type of shipping supply. Buy in bulk. So for example, I buy my bubble mailers in batches of 500. That way you get you're saving your cost per envelope is greatly reduced when you're purchasing in bulk versus if you purchase a couple at a time. The biggest thing, the biggest lesson here, at least in my opinion, would be when I first started selling on eBay, I would go to Walmart, Target, Staples, even, and buy my envelopes there, and they are so expensive there. So definitely avoid buying that type of stuff in person at an actual store. Go on to eBay and just do a search for whatever size you're looking for. Sort everything, price lowest first, and then just buy directly on eBay. That's what I would say for that one.
And I'll echo all of that. And I'll just say that Nick didn't do the worst thing possible. Staples, Walmart, those are bad places because you'll pay like a buck or two a piece. The first time I ever sold something on eBay, it was an old video game. It was The Sims or The Sims 2 for like PlayStation 2. I bought the padded envelopes at the post office. That is the worst place to buy them.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I stock. I also buy 500 a piece, except for some of the really big ones. Like I buy quad zeros, double zeros, twos, fives, and sevens. I
Really?
think, yep, the sevens I buy, I don't use those. Like I don't really ship much directly in a seven, but sometimes I use them to like wrap something that goes inside a box.
Oh,
They
okay.
work well. But I buy those like 50 at a time and they last a year or two because I ship so
Yeah.
infrequently with them.
Yep.
But the fives are nice. Occasionally, if you sell like an uncut sheet of like a Burger King sheet type thing, some oddball things fit in those.
Mhm.
But yeah, you're talking if you go to Walmart, a quadruple zero, which if you're not familiar, it's like the 4 inch by 6 inch. It's I don't have one here. Usually I do, but it's like the smallest size padded envelope they have. I think I get 500 of them for like $40 to my door, maybe $30, so like 6 cents a piece. If you go to Walmart, you're paying like $1 a piece for those.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, you really gotta, if you can't do 500, do 100 at least, and you're gonna save significantly. Um, and yeah, almost everything for me is eBay, a couple things on Amazon, and if you're doing this all legitimately as a business, nice thing about it too, like you can register your sales tax exemption with Amazon, with eBay. So like I'm not paying sales taxes on my like business supplies.
I gotta do that for Amazon. I have it set up for eBay, but that's it. I gotta do that for Amazon. Another thing that I thought of, the if you're selling on eBay and you have an eBay store, eBay sends you a quarterly coupon
Yeah.
to purchase supplies from the eBay store. So definitely take advantage of that if you have an eBay store. It's basically you're getting free supplies from them once every quarter. And I actually use, I forget what size I use. I think it's, I honestly forget. But there's certain size boxes that I actually use regularly, that I get directly through eBay. They're free with the coupon. And then I actually just started using, they have like it's like a cardboard mailing envelope that fits jumbo cards perfectly.
Ah,
So I'm gonna start. I ordered a bunch of those, and I'm gonna start putting jumbo cards in there, and then in a bubble mailer, and shipping them that way instead of top loaders. So that'll save a little bit of money there.
yeah, I do the boxes as well through eBay. That was a good call because I forgot about that. But I think I pay like 60 a month ish for my store subscription. And then quarterly you get $50 in shipping supplies. So that, I mean, that's like a 15, $17 rebate right there
Yeah, exactly.
per month essentially.
Yep.
So yeah, that's everything.
And then the second part of that question was distributors for supplies, which I don't know if you mean shipping supplies. If that's the case, I don't know of any distributors for shipping supplies, but for card supplies there are distributors. um but unfortunately right now their card supplies through distribution are non-existent. I have So I have two Pokemon distributors that both sell card supplies. And then I also have a third distributor that I used to just buy card supplies from before I realized that my other two distributors actually sold card supplies. And I've tried reaching out to all three of those distribution companies, and I cannot get anything from them in terms of card supplies. So um, that's just a lost cause right now. Card supplies I've just been buying on eBay, paying the inflated prices,
Yep.
unfortunately.
Thankfully, I was really stocked up before all this happened, and I've kind of like had enough. Like I had a couple of the 10,000 count penny sleeve cases, and I had one or two of the card saver cases, and then lately, like through the middleman, I've been not even sending bulk orders in card savers, so I've been able to sustain those too.
Yeah.
Um, but as far as getting in with distribution, depending on where you are in the process, like step zero is actually registering as a business, like talking to an accountant, make sure you're doing it all right, going to your local county building, talking to the county clerk or whoever it is in your county. They'll have all the paperwork that you need for like registering a new business, whether you do a DBA, LLC, whatever. They'll have somebody who, depending on how big of a city, town, county you live in, whatever, they might have like a small business type office that helps you establish all that. So because you do need, I mean, I'm in New York, it's called certificate of authority here. every state kind of has their own deal. So you just gotta like look at it for your locality and go from there.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, if you're talking about Pokemon cards, unless you're brick and mortar, you're not gonna get in with anybody new right now because there's long wait lists. There's a lot of people trying to get in, and they're selling everything they have instantly, so they have no motivation to take on new people to just give themselves more work for the same amount of pay.
Hopefully that'll change at some point soon because I would like to start getting more product
Yeah, it will someday, but I don't know when. We'll see.
someday.
Yeah. I think that's everything for that one. So basic trainer, I think he got both of us.
Oh,
So
be a cheater.
he said, "Hey Dan, my whole life I've been a collector," and actually two people that got me back into it too. Gem Mint Pokemon and Crack Rock McCabe got me back into the hobby almost a decade ago with sealed booster boxes and PSA slabs. As a 33-year-old temporarily retired man, I would like to dabble in the business side of Pokemon. How do I convince my wife to reach into our honey pot, 5 to 10% from savings to be able to start up a business? We also have investments in alternative assets, including my collection of safety nets. Or should I take all the risk and sell some of my collection to get started? Wishing you guys all luck. Oh, wishing you guys luck on the box break. Um, so that's much more like that's very much like a relationship type question as far as to, I mean, some people do their own finances where two separate bank accounts and all that. I've never really understood how people are able to do that. Like my wife and I have always been joint finances, but I got married in 2015 and lucky for me, I got back into the hobby in 2014. It was my money. So I took $5,000. I asked myself if I was okay with it. I approved, and then I went on with it. Um, but yeah, once you have a partner of some kind, you really need to make sure you have full buy-in and don't you see all those memes like talking about hiding things from your wife or whatever, and like yeah, I make sure she's fully on board. Like I guess kind of make like a kind of a business plan, almost as if you're going to a bank for a loan, right? Hey, I'm gonna take this much money. I'm gonna do this with it. It's a good idea because this. If you sell her on it, yeah, go ahead. But know that there is risk involved. Like don't be too pushy. Take a big risk, lose money for your family, and then like don't let Pokemon make the relationship rocky in any way because of money. So you did mention that you have a collection that you could sell, even though it's harder to do. It's probably like the optimal way in many ways, just because it makes the risk a little bit less. And depending on what you have, I think leveraging your collection, I've made a couple videos talking about it. Like there are certain things that I've sold over the years that I didn't really intend to or want to sell just because they've provided me so much more liquidity and so much more ability to further myself as a business. So yeah, kind of a long, not like there's no way that anyone not knowing your exact situation can give you the perfect answer here, but um I think operating as a business with like a substantial collection, any amount of money you tie up in a collection that you tell yourself you'll never sell or never, like that's just kind of robbing your business from capital that you could use to grow and expand. So it's a tough thing there.
My first thing would be where you're 33, you should really not think about a business and start thinking about retirement because you're pretty old there. No, I actually I we me and Basic Trainer talk a lot, and I always give him a hard time about how old he is when he's really not that much older than me, but I had to throw that in there for him. Um, but yeah, I would listen to Dan on that advice. Don't listen to me. Because I wish I started out like you or James. There's a bunch of people who started out like that, where they took a X amount of money and grew their business from that. Because being able to say that you've grown what you have today from $5,000 is really cool. I wish I could say that. I started out like that back in high school. I started out with 25-30 bucks, and kind of grew that, but then that quickly turned into, I started a part-time job, and all the money from that part-time job went into Pokemon. And then I started a full-time job, and all the money from my full-time job went into Pokemon. So I've invested a lot of money into Pokemon and what I have. But luckily I don't have a wife. I'm single. So didn't have anyone to answer to in that regard. So that made it a little bit simpler. But yeah, I would say the best type of scenario would be to set X dollars aside, and just kind of grind your way, buy one collection, sell that collection, use the money from that collection to buy the next collection, and kind of use that snowball effect to grow the business. We've talked about this in a earlier podcast, but I'm always curious as to like how hard would it be, and how much money do you need in today's market to actually start out a business, selling Pokemon cards? Because I think it would be a lot harder nowadays, not to discourage anyone, but I think it would be a lot harder nowadays to get started selling Pokemon cards than back when we started out. But yeah, I've always thought about that and been interested in that type of topic of like what would be a good starting point in today's market, where pricing is so much different than when we started, and would it actually be viable now that there's so many more other sellers out there?
Yeah, I think a number that I've heard a lot, I feel like I've heard Rudy talk about it, Dirium's back when he did his card shop life. I feel like kind of a magic number is always like 100,000. If you're going to go brick and mortar, you're talking about lease, you're talking about overhead type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, like that number feels like you wouldn't even be able to get a whole lot of inventory. And it's a very different question. It's a very different answer to that question, whether you're going to be paying yourself off the bat or not. Like if you're in a financial position, which Basic does talk about having some alternate assets, and I mean, he's only talking about pulling 5 to 10% from savings. So it sounds like he's got a decent bit of savings there. Like right now I'm in a position where I'm doing this full time. I've done it on the side. Like starting it on the side is always the best and easiest way. Like if you've if you've got an income that pays all the bills, and then you can do this on the side in your spare time, that's the best way. That's the safest way. But like if you're quitting your job and, hey, I need to pay myself $4,000 a month plus cover all business expenses, that's really hard to start off the bat. Like, I mean, that's almost impossible to start off the bat if you have no selling experience or presence or anything like that. So I guess the answer varies a lot too. Like, it sounds like you know Basic pretty well. I've seen him in some different podcasts, seen him on some different channels, but never spoken with him directly. So I don't know how much selling experience, but
That's another good point, actually. Where I don't think he doesn't sell any Pokemon. I know that. But I don't know if he's sold on eBay either. So I would actually say that would probably be a good initial starting point, is to just not necessarily like jump into buying a collection and starting to sell it, but find stuff around your house, stuff that you don't use,
access.
and yeah, exactly. Start learning the whole process of actually selling on eBay, and just see if you actually enjoy it, if you actually like it, before you hop in and spend X amount of dollars buying this collection that you're gonna have to in turn go and resell. You'll learn a lot from just getting free stuff around your house that you don't use, and listing and selling it on eBay. Who cares if you actually make a profit on that type of stuff?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can always do a bit of both too. Like I don't know what number you're after, but if you're thinking 5 to 10% from savings, if you can convince her into the 5 and then sell a couple items that you're not as attached to from your collection. So do a little bit of both. Fund it a little bit from your own collection and a little bit from savings and go from there. But the quicker you can start doing it a little bit, especially if you don't need to count on, like not having to count on generating a paycheck is massive. Because if you have the capital, if you're in a position where a spouse or whatever can provide like your living expenses or a full-time job, and you can keep like all your money in the business to grow it and not have to, when you're siphoning off 2 grand a month, 4 grand a month, however much a month to live. I mean, that makes it that much harder, that much bigger of a hurdle you've got to overcome to survive as the business. So that's a big consideration.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. But I think we did a good job answering that one.
Yeah.
So my next question is also actually from Basic Trainer. He says, "Hey Nick, back in June we had a great time at CollectCon. Yes, we did. I was so last weekend they did their third CollectCon event, and seeing all the Instagram stories, I was so bummed out that I wasn't there, because I've been to the first 2 CollectCons. This was the first one that I missed, and it looked like an awesome time. So I completely regretted not going, but it just couldn't happen with our Vegas trip. But yeah, so we had a great time back in June. It was really nice to meet you. But you were actually generous enough to work out a deal with me on a legendary collection Zard. I will be going to CollectCon in Houston next weekend, and without you there to give me deals, what are some tips when dealing with vendors to get the best deals? Also, more specifically, how much of a discount should we expect on an item compared to comps? So, without me at CollectCon, you're probably not going to get any good deals. No. To answer that question, I would say it depends on who you're trying to buy from and what you're trying to buy. So, for example, in my case, I sell on eBay. That's my primary source of income. So when I went down to Collecticon or Collectors Con, whatever, I was trying to sell cards, but I wasn't going to fire sale any cards, because I knew that I could just bring them back home and sell them on eBay. Where there's some people who just sell at these types of conventions, so those people are more willing to kind of give out those good deals, because the only time that they're selling and making money are at these conventions. So I guess if you can find someone who doesn't have like an online presence and just kind of sells in person, maybe just set up for that specific convention, those would probably be the best people to buy from. But getting into a little bit more specific here, so the way I priced my items was I priced them at the eBay buy it now pricing. And then when someone asked about whatever card, I would just take 10% off of that price and go from there. Because obviously you're paying 10% eBay fees. So I would knock that 10% off automatically and kind of negotiate from there. But that would always be my starting price. For me, I was more willing to negotiate the afternoon of Sunday versus Saturday or Sunday morning, just because the event was only 2 days. So towards the end of the second day is when you want to kind of make those last minute sales, generate a little bit more revenue, so on and so forth. So I would say if you're looking to get the best deal, you're gonna get those deals Sunday afternoon, towards the end of the show, when everyone's kind of done buying, packing up to go home. That's probably what the best time that you're going to get those deals. And then how much of a discount you should expect to get from comps? It depends on the person. I would say at least 10% because eBay comps, you're paying all those eBay fees, you're paying shipping. So I'd say at least 10%, maybe 10 to 20%, depending upon what the card is. But that's how I would answer that question.
Yeah. I think the big thing, like I've not ever sold Pokemon in person at an event like that. I used to actually do beer steins and stuff like that at local shows. And the end of a weekend, the end of a show, when people are looking at their full table, I've got to pack all this back up in my car, in my
Yep.
carry-on, in my luggage, whatever. That is when people are going to deal because, man, I spent $3,000 traveling here and I only sold $2,000 worth of stuff and I've got to pack it all back up. So look to make the deals um, at the end, near the end of a show, especially. And I think a big thing Nick didn't touch on, but I think is a big consideration. Cash is king.
Oh,
So,
I completely missed that one.
so yeah, like I'm not going to advocate for any tax dodging strategies or anything like that. But if you sell on eBay, there's a 10% fee. If you sell through PayPal or credit card, it's only a 3.5% fee. But there's a lot of people in these types of reselling industries that Uncle Sam doesn't hear about everything they do. So if they can sell a card for $100 cash versus $100 that's going to go on their 1099, generally speaking, people might wheel and deal a little more with cash. So that's just a consideration. As far as the expectations of what you should look for as a discount, personally, like I don't think you like for me, and maybe it's not the right answer, but I would never go to an event expecting 20% off deals on anything in particular. I would go to an event to meet the people, to see, like, get the experience and all that. And then if a deal happens, it happens. But generally speaking, like, I think 10% would be like the most you should expect, if anything. If you get more because you've got cash Sunday at 5 before they close up, that's great. But like, I think some amount of people go to events with too much expectation, like, hey, I'm going to go get a bunch of great deals, and then they're kind of bummed out, oh, those were priced higher than eBay, because a lot of booths will just have things priced higher than eBay. And some of them, oh, this last sold on eBay for $80, can I give you 75, can I give you 60 cash or whatever? You should have bought the one on eBay. I mean, some people are going to be like that, so it's tough. I think if you go with expecting to save 10%, I think you'll find some people. If Nick's there, you can go haggle him down a bunch and you'll be really happy. But
Yeah. No, not to not to say to expect 10 to 20% discounts. Because like what you were saying is definitely right. You're not going to go to one of these conventions and find all of these steals out there. There is such a thing as a convention tax where items are going to be priced either close to what eBay pricing is or a bit higher, just because you are getting that item immediately. You're giving him the cash and he's giving you the card. So there is
yeah,
definitely such thing as convention tax. It's not actually a thing, but
you do.
um
Yeah, you need to realize too, like if you buy that thing on eBay, there's a delay there. There's some amount of wait for it, and having it in hand, like you can really look it over, and you're not going to get a surprise, oh, there's a crack in the case, oh, there's this DNA from PSA employees hair or whatever kind of. Yeah. So I mean, there really is a decent amount of value in having something in hand. So yeah.
and then the only other thing I wanted to touch on was cash is king. That is absolutely true. And even more so, it's cash, not Venmo or PayPal friends and family.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just me, but I always like seeing actual $100 bills. So if someone comes to my table and says, I'll give you 300, 400, in $100 bills, I'm more apt to say yes to that versus I'll Venmo you 400. It's really the same thing because it's basically the same thing, but actually seeing that cash always entices me a bit more. So if you are going to be going to one of these events, I would definitely recommend going to the bank, taking out cash so you have that available.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. It gives you just the highest likelihood that you're going to get an actual deal or steal.
Yeah, exactly.
So that one was yours.
Yep.
Next one is from Pokey Joestar. My question is, how do you think CGC Pristine 10s will be viewed down the road in comparison to PSA 10s and BGS Pristine? I own one CGC Pristine 10 with no subgrades and would like to add more to my collection. Tough to gauge value. I've touched on it in my recent return videos, one that will actually go live Monday, but CGC is a very tough grader. CGC 10s are legitimate. I've gotten so few. I don't even I've gotten so few, I've sold so few, so I don't know how they've compared. I feel like BGS on the high tier cards, BGS 10 definitely consistently earns a premium. But like on random stuff, I don't think BGS 10s even like earn that much of a actually like those Sword Shield 50, the Champions Path ETB promo.
Oh, yep.
I graded like the one time, first and last time I'll do like a medium-ish size submission to BGS. I was selling my BGS 10 for like the same price as PSA 10s just to get rid of them. Like there was no premium there.
Man.
Because a bunch of other people graded with them too. And there was
Yep.
a lot of them. I knew there was going to be a lot more. I'm like, let me just get out of these.
Yep.
And I was selling them for $200 a piece when PSA 10s were $200 a piece, and now they're like 90. So I'm glad I did.
Oh yeah.
But so yeah, I don't even think BGS is like consistently earning a premium to PSA. In my opinion, CGC 10s definitely should, but I don't know. I like to think that someday they will, and I'm fairly confident that on like higher tier cards they will eventually. But I feel like it might be along the same lines as BGS, that low mid tier oddball stuff people just won't really care enough, that it won't be, they won't be transacting frequently enough. Like PSA is definitely king in Pokemon, and I think it will be for quite a while. I love the thought of like CGC eventually dethroning it, but I just don't see it because people prefer PSA 10s over CGC 9.5s. And in my experiences, almost all CGC 9.5s would be PSA 10s, and many CGC 9s would be PSA 10s. So yeah, on the buyer's end, no. On the seller's end, it's the few CGC 10s that I got them early on and I sold them at a slight premium to PSA 10, but not much. But in the future, I don't know if I'm ever going to list anymore because I'll just keep them because they are so hard to get. So from the buying side, yeah, if you can get them for the same price or not much of a premium, they're a good buy, in my opinion.
I think what you said is right. CGC 10s are nearly impossible to get. I've gotten two so far. And they were both Japanese cards, or actually one was a Korean card, one was a Japanese card. So the quality on those cards is a little bit better than English. So I haven't gotten a single one on an English card myself. But yeah, I think people for the most part are sleeping on CGC right now. I think in the long term, more people will realize that CGC is a legitimate company. It is here to stay. I don't think CGC will ever beat out PSA just because of like what you said. People like the consistency. There's a lot of OCD collectors that would have to start going after the same subgrades and the same grade, and would turn into a nightmare. But I do think CGC is well on its way of kind of beating out BGS. So I think we're gonna start seeing CGC follow a similar pattern of BGS, where BGS 10s do have, for the most part, outside of like those really common BGS 10s, but for the most part, BGS 10s do have a premium over PSA 10s, and rightfully so, just because of how tough they are to actually get. But yeah, I would just agree with what you said. If I don't think I did sell one of my CGC 10s. It was a Korean armored Mewtwo, and I want to say I sold that for like 250 when I was selling the 9s for like 50 and the 9.5s for 75. So I think I got a really good premium for it. But then I had a CGC 10 Charizard Illustrator listed on eBay for the longest time for 250, and nobody bought it. So I ended up just taking it off eBay and adding it into my personal collection, because they're really tough to get, and I think people will eventually realize that CGC 10s do deserve that kind of premium. But for now, I think there's a lot of good deals on the buying end for CGC graded cards.
I think that the Illustrator Charizard is a really good example of a card that I'm gonna have my eyes on when the CGC Pop report comes out. It will, like, I have no idea what the distribution of grades is with PSA, but it's probably like more than 50% PSA 10 and a lesser percentage PSA 9. When you look at the CGC Pop report, it'll be so interesting because, like, that's a brand new card. People are generally submitting the same condition to PSA and to CGC. So if you see that the normal distribution centers on like a CGC 9 where it centers on a PSA 10, I mean, you can really get a feel for like what grade equates to what. I'm super interested. I'm gonna spend a lot of time looking at some different cards when that comes out for CGC.
I hope they do release that soon. I don't know why. I can kind of understand why they haven't released it yet. Just because they do want to kind of build up a number of cards that they have graded before releasing it, and everyone claiming, oh, this random card's a pop one, no, this other random card's a pop one. But yeah, I hope they release it soon, because it'll be really interesting to actually see how many CGC 10s are out there. Maybe I have the only CGC 10 Charizard Illustrator. That'd be pretty cool. Pop one.
Yeah, when people start scraping it and you see the accumulation of like these modern sets, when you look at all of Shining Fates at PSA and see where their grade distribution lands, just superimposing the two distributions, because all the cards are pack fresh. They should, like, when you talk about older stuff, it's tough because like different levels of wear being submitted to each company, and one having 20 years of data versus one having 1 year of data. But when you look at a brand new set, it's going to be really interesting. Right now, it's going to be skewed again for a while, because right now you can't even submit to PSA for less than $150. But yeah, I'm really interested once that comes out.
Yeah, no, that'll be interesting to look at. Hopefully that does come out at some point soon.
Yeah,
but we shall see what happens there.
Yeah.
So that was your question, right?
Yep.
Okay. So my last question is from Matt D. He says, even when I ship items below $20 or lighter items between 0.1 ounces to 4 ounces, I use a bubble mailer or small box if necessary. I'm willing to take the losses on shipping the materials and shipping heavier weights for the guarantee of more secure packaging. It gives me too much anxiety using PWEs with how unreliable USPS or other shipping carriers have been during the pandemic. I just genuinely don't like shipping or receiving PWEs for singles / booster packs. As a buyer, I've received more than a few PWEs from eBay purchases. These were smaller items where the PWE was ripped or the item was missing entirely. How do you guys feel about this? I know you discussed it a bit, but I'd like to hear the arguments in favor of PWEs beyond cost efficiency. I should preference I'm not a business entity, just a returning collector who is selling occasionally to fund his collection goals. Higher volumes of sales could completely change my opinion, I'll admit. So basically, arguments in favor of PWCCs or PWEs is the question. My answer to this would be, so back a couple years ago, I had the same logic as you, Matt, where I really didn't like the idea of PWE, because you didn't have tracking on any of your shipments. This is back before standard envelope. So you didn't have any type of tracking number, so anyone could claim that they didn't receive their item, and you'd have to refund them because with eBay you really have no recourse there. So I actually was adamant about charging shipping on everything that I sold. So even 99-cent singles were plus $3 shipping, and then I would do free shipping on every other card that you purchased within that order. And at the time, I thought it really wouldn't affect my business too much, because who's going to buy one single 99-cent card? People are going to buy multiple cards at a time, and they're only going to pay $3 shipping and blah, blah, blah. I went with that logic. I was stuck in my mind for years doing that. And then I finally one day decided to try out PWE and see how it would work. And it drastically increased my sales. The amount of sales that I received drastically increased, because there are a lot of people who just purchase that one single 99-cent card and call it good. Plus, when you're dealing with the low end like that, those cheap singles, it's all about being the lowest price. People aren't searching, like we talked about earlier. People aren't searching for your specific store to shop with you. They're looking for the lowest price possible. So in order to be successful with low-end items, you need to be the lowest price on eBay. And in most cases, that's going to be 99 cents free shipping. So unless you're at that price point, people are going to have to scroll through hundreds of pages before they even see your listing. So that's my biggest argument for PWEs, is your sales are definitely going to increase. But if you are more so just a collector who's looking to occasionally sell items here and there, I don't think I would worry too much. I would just continue doing what you're doing. It does get a little bit stressful when you start getting into PWEs, because even with the standard envelope, there are still issues, and there's far fewer issues with first class mail and priority mail than there are with the PWEs. So if you're just doing this as a side thing, kind of selling a few cards here and there, I would just keep doing what you're doing. I don't think depending upon how many low end cards you plan on listing and selling, I don't think it'll affect your business too much. Maybe even just get away from those individual cards and maybe start doing like lots of cards or something where it's more worthwhile to ship out that quantity of cards first class mail versus PWE. That's what I would say for that one.
Yeah, for me, I mentioned earlier, I think one of the biggest mistakes that people do, or one of the biggest misconceptions or whatever, is the eBay fee being high. And I think right up there with that mistake is people are way too harsh on USPS, I think. I think we have an amazing postal system, and I think it's crazy how cheap you can send stuff around the country. I mean, think about the alternative. Are you going to go, what are you going to do? Go to UPS, go to FedEx and try to ship something cheap with
Not
them.
gonna happen.
Go get a plane ticket and fly something over to California, 3,000 miles away for 53 cents or whatever it is. Plain wood envelopes for me though, I'm terrible. Like I ship a bunch of PSA cards every week. the first 4 ounces is the same, right? Like 4 ounces is like 350 ish.
Yeah, yeah.
So you're talking about a $3 difference between a plain white envelope and a bubble envelope. That's massive. If you're doing one a week, that's massive. That's 100. Like if you're that small of volume, that's small volume. That's $150 a year on what's your gross. I mean, if you're selling $20 cards once a week, that's $1,000 gross, and you're talking $150. That's massive. You need to do plain white envelope even at like one a week, I think, because especially with the eBay standard envelope option, I think that's huge. I've recently been selling on TCG Player a little bit and doing like the true plain white envelope. um it's great that eBay has that exclusive deal with the eBay standard envelope, because then you do get the tracking, and so much business is transacted in the country every day. Millions and millions and millions of plain white envelopes successfully going from sender to recipient, and it's very rare that there's issues with it. um when I was doing the volume on eBay, like I used to do 200 a week, 1% roughly, one or two a week. And again, $3 per thing, that's $600 a week I would have been spending additionally to do them all with envelopes. The one or two $20 transactions I had to refund, I was making several $100s still using plain white envelopes. So it's like it's not even a debate in my mind. um yeah, that's it's as simple as that for me. Use the eBay standard envelope because you get the tracking. It does suck when cards get wrecked. I mean, I can't say that I've literally sent 10,000 plain white envelopes probably over the years. And there have been pictures that come from people where the machine kind of ate it. uh it sucks, but any card under $20 is like a replaceable. It's most likely a set card. It's replaceable. I don't think there's any card that's going to sell for under $20 that you can't immediately replace for under $20.
You're not mailing your Pikachu
Trophy Pikachu.
illustrators PWE.
And yeah, I guess if you're selling anything for under $20 that you can't replace for under $20, then don't sell it for under $20. Yeah, like I can't, in a way, like if you're gonna lose sleep, if you do one a week and the $3 is literally gonna make you like lose sleep over it, like maybe it's worth it then. But like, talk to somebody, figure it out. Like,
Talk to somebody.
like there's no excuse to sell a $10 single and pay $350 to ship it. I don't think there's no justification. If you lose sleep at night, there's deeper seated problems somewhere, and you need to learn to trust a little bit.
Need to go over to Pokenomics and get some therapy lessons.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, plain white envelope at any scale, I think, like, you just need to. eBay standard envelope for sure. It's got to be done.
Yeah, I think I misread or I misread something there, or just didn't process something there. I was assuming he was charging for shipping, like $10 plus shipping, but I think you're right where he's taking the loss on shipping.
And even if you're charging for it, like if you're charging, say you're selling a 7 or a 650 single with 350 shipping, not only would you get better search results if you had it $10 with free shipping, like a buyer's gonna buy the two similarly.
Oh yeah.
So like anytime you like, the only thing a buyer cares about is the total price to get it to their door. So whether or not how much of that shipping doesn't really matter. If anything, you might have people mad if you charge $350 shipping and they see on the label that it was like $347. they're gonna, oh man, where's my 3 cents? This guy ripped me off. You're gonna be on like a scammer thing. When
Exactly.
people get free shipping, they just have this thing where they like think they're getting a deal,
Oh
whatever. I don't
yeah.
know. But so yeah, whether you're charging it or not, plain white envelope. That's my answer.
But if you're charging it though, you're not losing all that money.
You are though, because you could be, instead of like, you could charge only 50 cents and you could bump the item price up by $3.
No, but I'm saying like, so like if you're selling a card that sells for $10 on eBay, instead of selling it for $10, you're now selling it for $13 or
Well,
$10 plus $3 shipping.
someone's not going to buy yours though. They're going to,
Exactly.
so
That's the thing that you run into.
instead of going to Matt's store, they're going to go to old school Pokemon store and they're going to buy it for $9.99 free shipping. So you got to look up old school Pokemon. You got to see what he's charging. Charge 2 cents less. Ship with plain white envelope. Just undercut this guy and you're good to go.
Man. Well, if you do that, Matt, you're not getting any more chats from me on Instagram. So you better not. I think that's all the questions though. Did you have one more?
Nope, that was everything.
Okay. So hour and 20 minutes in. Finally get to talk about the good stuff.
Oof. We're that long in already. This is gonna be a 3-hour one. Buckle up.
So I don't know how you want to talk about Vegas.
I don't know. I did a video that people will have seen if they're following my channel. I showed my opening. I showed what I opened. Nick was going to do one, but then he got too busy and he wasn't able to debut at the same time as mine. Are you still gonna do that or no?
I think I'll probably do that. I don't know anymore because I might do that next week. I've already got a few videos that I need to do next week though, but I think I will do it at some point. Maybe even over the weekend, make it an extra video or something.
Yeah, Vegas was awesome though. I don't know if you want to talk about like the whole, like you got there earlier than me.
Yeah, I think we should just go in order.
So if you want to start with when I was still at home working hard on my eBay business and you were out gallivanting through Vegas.
Yeah, so I left Wednesday morning. I flew up to Vegas and Dan over here, Mr. Lame, didn't want to come out till Friday. So I went out Wednesday morning. Actually met up with Gem Min Pokemon. We both flew out Wednesday, and it was just an awesome time. I'd never been to Vegas before, so this was my first experience there, and there is a lot to do there. It's definitely a city that never sleeps. You could be up all constantly there, and there's stuff going on just constantly. So the first couple days, Wednesday and Thursday, we really didn't do anything too eventful. Did the usual Vegas stuff, gambled, drank. We did go see Chris Angel, Mind Freak. That was an absolutely incredible show. Really enjoyed that. But it was the funniest thing about those 2 days, or I guess Thursday night, Friday morning was me and Zach were out Thursday night, and it turned into Friday morning. And I don't know if it was you who texted me or me who texted you, but it was like 6:00 in the morning on Friday, and one of us texts the other person, basically asking, hey, what's up, or whatever. And
I messaged you.
Okay.
Fully expecting to like not get a reply for 10 hours until you woke up.
Yeah, so it's 6 a.m. Vegas time, which means it's 9 a.m. your time.
Yep.
And Dan texts me, and I tell we get to chatting, and I tell him, oh, we're just going to bed for the night. And the funniest thing about that is you reply back to that saying something like, oh, we're definitely not staying up till 6. When I get there, I'll be good till like 2, 3, but that's about it for me. And we did wake make it till 6 when Dan finally got there.
Yep. And the crazy thing about that, like, so Wednesday you stayed up, or no, Thursday that was, you stayed up till 6. But
Yeah.
I stayed up till 6 when my body was still on like East Coast time. So it was the equivalent of 9 a.m. I mean, I was up 24 hours straight, didn't sleep on the planes at all. I'm 6'4", squeezing into the main cabin. I can't fly first class. I'm too cheap for that. Too cheap and too poor. So yeah, I was shocked how easily, like, because it was just so much fun, such a great time. If we get into Friday night, so there was an event, a big Pokemon creator event at D Bruce's warehouse, just outside of Vegas. Or I guess I don't know if that's still considered Vegas, but it was 15 minutes from our hotel, roughly. And it was just so cool. King Pokemon, Gem Mint, Z&G actually came down from Arizona. He drove down. Tons of creators. I think on anyone following any Pokemon creators on social media, I think there was a lot of Instagram posts and a lot of different content around that event. I'm not a big like filming or taking pictures while I'm somewhere. I like to live in the moment and experience it. So I don't really have too many pictures or anything from Vegas, but tons of memories. That event was amazing. Great food. Gary actually had a lot of Nightfall boxes. So a lot of people were opening like some of the first boxes of MetaZoo Nightfall. It was pretty cool to just hang out, and I opened a pack of that out of Zach's box. Um, really good food there, a lot of good people. And then Gary actually debuted that video about the Logan Paul BGS 10 Charizard. So that was cool to get like a 24-hour advance sneak peek of that.
That was really cool. That was a long awaited video, because they recorded that back. It was right before Collecticon back in June is when they were recording that video, and I remember talking to Gary about that video at Collecticon back in June, and he was saying, "Yeah, you'll see that video in a couple of weeks probably when they upload it." And turns out a couple of months later we finally got to see that video. But I think most people expected that outcome, but it was kind of cool to see and actually finally know what happened to the BGS 10 Charizard.
Yeah.
But you're forgetting the coolest part about the Friday night event. I'm a huge fan of Grant Navarre's YouTube channel, and I finally got to meet him Friday night, which was super cool. He's actually now a subscriber of my YouTube channel. I don't know.
Nice.
I don't know if he'll watch an hour and a half into our podcast, but if you're watching, was really nice to meet you. I was pretty starstruck meeting you, but yeah, that was really cool being able to meet him and talk to him a bit, which was awesome.
Yeah. There was some more like there was a ton of Pokemon content creators, but then there was some of like the finance YouTube people. I forget if Andre went to Friday night.
He was there, yeah.
He was there Friday, and then Graham Stefan
Didn't go Friday,
but he was there Saturday, and then they were all there Saturday too.
Yep.
So like a lot of YouTube star power, a lot of Pokemon star power. And then I still don't have mine. I've actually got to hit up Zach.
Oh, I should have wore that tonight. That would have been a perfect shirt for tonight.
If I'd had mine, I probably would have forgot to wear it too. But we got these cool shirts made like hot off the press at D Bruce's warehouse. He was making shirts for the event on Saturday, so that was pretty cool.
It was actually cool to see how shirts are printed. I thought that was pretty cool. I didn't really. It's like a standard printer.
It's like a big
it's
printer.
A little bit different, but I thought it was gonna be some like super high tech machine, lasers coming down.
It was really cool. Just a little platform that you put the shirt on and slide it under, and then a big printer just like prints on it, like an inkjet printer kind of looking. I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, no, I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But
And
then
then go ahead.
I'm trying to remember what we did Friday night. I think we just went out to the casino afterwards, right?
We helped build a new wing in the casino. Friday night I actually did well. So we were playing blackjack Friday night. Yeah, I want to say we left the event at like 1 and then we just gambled and drank until 6. Oh,
I forget. I think I lost Friday night. Or no, did I? I think I broke even Friday night.
I made like $60.
I think Friday night was the one. I forget now. All these days are jumbling together. I think Friday night might have been the one that I was down and then I made $200 at roulette when we got back to our hotel.
Oh yeah, because I was up 260. And then I was up
And then
60
you
after
lost
roulette.
200.
We went to the pizza place too. Holy, I lost money there. A beer, a slice, and a whatchamacallit, Stromboli
Stromboli.
was like $35. It was good though. Got to meet Mike, uh
Professor O'Calley.
Professor O'Calley. Yeah, really cool guy.
Yeah,
But,
really cool to hang out with him.
yeah, hung out with him a lot both nights.
Yeah, no, that was cool to meet him. I had met him at Collectors Con originally. So that was cool to, but we didn't get to talk too much there. So actually being able to hang out with him and talk with him was really nice.
Yeah,
He's a cool guy. I like him.
yeah, definitely.
But I think that's about it for Friday night.
Yeah, and
Any other
then so
memorable activities?
I think that was it. So we wrapped up Friday night at like 6, and then you had a good idea. You wanted to go check out the gold and silver pawn shop.
Their
So,
shirt I could have worn tonight.
oh yeah, we talked to some other people, like a lot of people. Some people got done earlier than 6, I'm sure, but like we checked with a couple other people. No one else wanted to. We got up at like 9:30, and we went to Gold Silver Pawn, which was cool to check out that shop. They had $10 packs of Evolving Skies, and I thought about just give it a shot, try to hit one of the big cards, say that, man, I opened this Rayquaza altar in Gold Silver Pawn, or have a cool story like that, but I didn't go for it. It was really funny too. They had like CGC 8 Onyx V's and stuff like that from like pretty recent sets, but just a cool shop to walk through. I haven't watched that show in a long time, but I used to watch it years ago and be in the shop where Gary had his little thing of Charizards years ago.
Yeah, I am obsessed with that show. I absolutely love that show. I used to watch every single episode, and now I watch it occasionally, not as much. But I had read online that the actual shop is a lot smaller than what it looks like on TV, and I was actually really surprised. It is a lot smaller than it looks like on TV. It's really not that big of a shop. I was really surprised by that. But they did have a lot of cool stuff in there. Which was cool. They had some they didn't have a ton from the show that I recognized, but they did have like one display case of different items that were actually featured on the show. That was kind of cool seeing those. I think I recognized one of them from one episode, but aside from that, didn't recognize anything. I did get my gold and silver pawn shop t-shirt though, so that was a nice little souvenir from Vegas.
I didn't end up buying any souvenir type stuff. I just didn't want to carry stuff around all day.
that part stunk because I bought the shirt and then we went right over to the event, so I had it. Luckily, we kind of stayed in the same area, so I just left it on the table and nobody took it, which was good.
We actually went, so immediately after the shop, we got food, breakfast, lunch, whatever you want to call it. It was fairly early still, but we got barbecue. That was really good. owned by Rick's Barbecue, whatever it was called.
Yeah, I forget what it was called.
Really good brisket and pulled pork. That was a good pick for food.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Um, yeah, then we walked over. So Fremont Street, close to Fremont Street, just off was the event. We picked up Pokemon Classics on the way.
Oh, I almost forgot to mention him. Yeah, we
Yep.
finally got to meet Pokemon Classics. That was
We
awesome.
we met
Great,
him
great.
Friday night. Yeah, but then we ended up I saw the hotel. We walked by the hotel that he had mentioned the night before that he was staying at. So I'm like, "Hey, let's hit him up." I'm terrible with Matt, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So I hit him up and oh yeah, I'll be right down and so we walked over to the event together and then we had an interesting little story with how we made our way into the event an hour early. We had the address, so we were just walking towards it. It's kind of a weird setup. We walked into this little, I don't know what you'd even call it, but we walked
It's like an
into,
alleyway.
yeah, we walked into what felt like we were heading to the event, and then we hit kind
Oh
of
yeah, that like hotel or whatever it was.
yeah, we hit like a dead end. So it's like, I don't know what's going on. Well, we saw an alley, and over the building that we were in the little courtyard of or something,
Yeah.
we saw the Pikachu. So we're like, okay, let's go around the alley. Right as we're walking down the alley, and the end of it is fenced. There's like the bathroom trailer there. Well, a guy opens the gate. So we're just like, okay, that's the event in there. We walk in. We hang out for like half an hour. No badges. Everyone else has badges. We're just like hanging out. A couple people ask us if we're like the video people.
Yeah,
Nope.
yep.
No, we're just here hanging out. And then like half an hour goes by and some lady comes over like, who are you guys? Where are your badges? We ended up like having to walk out for a little bit and go in the actual line. But it was cool to like be the first ones in there, just kind of hanging out and checking
Oh
out.
yeah.
Really cool venue. It was really cool how they had it set up, the stage, the Snorlax floating in the pool, and
Yeah, yeah.
really cool setup there. That we got to sample an hour early.
No, they did a great job with the whole like setup of the venue. They had a lot of cool stuff there. I wish we went. I didn't even see the like little circle thing where you can go take pictures. I wish we did that. I completely forgot about that though.
Did you see some of the people's reels that they did in there?
No,
Like,
I didn't see anything about that.
I think they did reels. Like, I don't think they just did stories. So
Oh, okay.
we're gonna leave out so many names of people that we met, which sucks. But like not Shivam,
Mhm.
met him. Radar, who I had met before, but like Don Diego, I saw a reel that I think it was Super Duper Danny, Shiv, Radar, and Don Diego. They're just like standing in there,
Nice.
and then they're like someone's circling around them, recording the evolution
Oh, that's
background.
cool.
Yeah, so check out it. It might be on Not Shivam or it might be on Don Diego, but one
Okay.
of them I think posted a reel of it, and it was a really cool backdrop. I think it was inside the room. Like I wasn't really drinking at the event because I didn't want to like get drunk and then go rip a Charizard in half accidentally. um, so I think it was in where the bar was, off to the left, but I'm not
Okay.
positive.
Okay. Yeah, I
That
wish I almost completely forgot about that.
Yeah, that was cool, and it's out there. It's on someone's Instagram to
I'll
check
check
out.
that out. I'll check
Yeah,
that out. But yeah, they had the venue was set up awesome. They had I didn't really get that much food there. I got out like a few small plates. But they had good food there. Few good drinks there too. But it was cool because they like rotated the food out. Like 1 hour they would have like one thing of food, and the next hour would be another like appetizer thing. And they did the same thing with the drinks. The first hour would be something, and they would switch out for the next hour. So it was actually a really cool setup. They did a good job with that. It was a lot better in person than the live stream made it out to be.
It's unfortunate that they didn't have it better managed for the live stream because it was so amazing, so much fun to be there. I actually didn't partake in any of the food because I had my mindset on, which we'll get into later, I'm sure. I had my mindset on uh, Caesar's buffet.
I wish we were able to do that.
We'll get into it once we get through the event. We'll talk about I'm sure. So it worked out anyways. Like I was really happy with dinner that night, but I was a little bummed to not be able to do a Vegas buffet, but still worked out. So yeah, the event. Anybody who caught the stream, that was like an hour and a half or so after the event actually started. I think
It was a while, yeah.
a couple hours maybe.
Well, I think that stream started at 3 or 3:30,
Then
and
we went in at 1, right? Or a little after
yeah,
1.
yeah, it was a little after 1. So yeah, it was like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah. And that was just hanging out, talking with people. There was one vendor there, right? DFW.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, so it was a good time just hanging out, getting kind of hyped, I was nervous, like thinking about the packs and
Oh
getting
yeah, oh
ready for
yeah.
that, getting hyped for that. Uh, but yeah, other than that, like getting up to the stream, which again was just I think they only got 500-600 viewers at peak. And
I was surprised by that.
Pokerev,
Pokey, I was just yeah.
yeah,
Go ahead. I was just gonna
he,
say that.
he streamed it and he like reacted to it. Which, if you want to like go back and watch it, if you've not seen it yet, I would just say watch that because he gives you a little bit of commentary at least. But he pulled 5 or 6 thousand, I think. He pulled an order of magnitude more than they did. So they really should have they should have organized it to where they had someone better. Like they almost should have reached out to someone like Pokerev and paid them to commentate it like officially in
Yep.
an official capacity, or flown him out to like be the hype man on stage at all times. Cause like I love Gary and he's great, but like there's definitely a certain type of person that would have been able to commentate it a little bit better and just more engagement, keep people more hyped into it on the stream end.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. And plus the sound quality. Like I was listening to the stream while we were at the event. Occasionally just to look at the comments, and the sound quality was terrible.
Yeah, they had issues and it cut out during the song there. And then just certain things like when they were drawing all the
Oh yeah, they should have done that off camera or before the live stream started.
yeah, when they were drawing all the balls for the pack, that shouldn't have been done on stream. And I don't know if it was intended to or if they were just running late with certain things, but a little bit of
I think that was intended to, because they had the whole advertisement people too.
yeah,
Whatever those guys were trying to sell.
yeah.
Yeah, I think they should have just cut all that out and started the live stream. Had Jason Page sing. I almost I the one thing that I feel bad for about that stream was Rob, Robo Skills,
Yeah.
because I don't I think it was a good idea to have him, but at the same time, I don't think it was the right place, because everyone was talking. Nobody was listening to him. Plus, they kind of censored what he could say during the live stream, because obviously kids are watching. So he really couldn't use any of his funny jokes. But
And we met him Friday night and
yeah,
he tested I think that's something comics do, right? They test in small venues in preparation for bigger venues. So he kind of like tested some material on us. He had some funny stuff that
he
he
did.
basically he couldn't use because I don't think he like even before the stream started, he did some warm up and the crowd received that stuff better because it was better material.
Yeah,
But once some of it was kind of raunchier and a little less PG, and once he did some of that in the warm up, I think he was asked, "Hey, PG it up for the actual stream," and that just really restricted it. And one thing I actually saw Pokemon Classics mention on E4, but they didn't have like at a normal comedy show, you get the laughter of the crowd recorded in the background too. So like they had his mic, and then they like people were laughing in the crowd at some of the like it made it sound like when a comedian delivers a joke and then you just hear silence, you assume that no one at the event is laughing. So it makes it that much worse presentation wise.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
imagine watching an hour-long comedy special on Netflix where you're watching like Dave Chappelle or someone, and it's literally like joke, punchline, and then 15 seconds of silence because they're not capturing the crowd actually laughing. Like that would be
Yeah.
terrible. It wouldn't be. So again, that falls back on like just not properly broadcasting
Yeah,
that type of
exactly.
thing.
Exactly.
Which is just unfortunate because yeah, meeting Rob, great guy, really funny guy.
Yeah, he actually is really funny. I can't even remember any of the jokes he was saying Friday night, but his Friday night jokes, those were actually really funny. I actually really enjoyed those. But yeah, it just did not come off right for the live stream,
Yeah.
which is unfortunate.
But yeah, I mean, once we got through all that, once we got through again on the viewers end, it's like you're watching an hour and a half of fluff. You want to see packs opened, and you're stuck with 90 minutes of like, hey, open some packs. Meanwhile, we're in Vegas, weather's great, people are great, food, alcohol, like everything, we're having a great time.
Oh
So
yeah, oh yeah.
event side, everything was amazing. Stream side, it should have started later. It should have just been more of the openings with a little bit of color commentary. But once we got to the break, like that base first box, man,
That was fun to watch.
that was a slow rolling box as far as low amount of hollows out of the gate. And we were late.
Well, because yeah, mention yeah, I was gonna say we were pack number 27 and 29.
Yep.
We were in the later half of the box, so seeing all those non-hollows in the beginning, just it kept increasing our odds, which made us happier and happier.
I was peeking into the Pokenomics Discord. I think it was George Bot who shouting him out for every time a set of packs were pulled, he was updating a little spreadsheet and then sending it out. So like it got to the point where we were a few packs away and there were like 9 base first packs left with like 7 hollows to go. So our odds of getting a hollow were in the high 80s, almost 90%. And then I guess if you want to talk about your packs, and then I'll talk about mine.
I thought by the time we got up there, we had 100%.
So yeah,
If it was a legitimate box.
When we were a few packs away, it was 7 for 9. But even though we were slots 27 and 29, the way that they were grouping the packs, like when Scott's came up, his first one, Merps opened all 4 packs of Scott's at once. So even though we were slot 27 and 29, and reminder that there was only 35 packs because they opened one out of each box to verify. So we opened the 27 and 29. We opened the 32nd and 33rd. There were only 2 people after me.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, by the time it got down to you, there were 4 packs left and there were 4 hollows remaining to be pulled.
Yeah.
Assuming 12 hollows in the box, which
Yep.
I was being a little pessimistic, kind of like downplaying. I'm like, there could be a chance that this is a 10 hollow box and we might not hit it. But then yeah, take us through your packs.
Yeah. So I went up and
you went up knowing you were gonna get a hollow, right? Like
yeah, I was assuming that I was gonna get a hollow in the first edition base pack. Obviously hoping for the Charizard, but yeah. So I go up on stage and
before you get into it, so there were 4 packs left. All 4 were supposed to be hollow for base first, and unlimited and shadowless. There was 1 hollow remaining for each. And
okay, I didn't know that. Okay.
I saw a lot of speculation going into it that like, oh, when they weighed out the boxes to verify 12 heavies, they left all the heavies at the bottom, whatever. That doesn't apply though, because they rolled a thing. So like everything was randomized. It was just
exactly.
It was dumb luck. that like the last 4, 5, 6 packs were hollows. Like, just I wanted to get that out there because I saw some amount of speculation that when they weighed them, they put them back wrong. But when I was ball 29, I just lost the ball. When I was ball 29, they pulled my name out 35th because I have one lot 35 on Golden, and then they gave me the 29th pack. So yeah, everything was randomized coming out of the box, and it was crazy luck that many hollows came that late. So sorry to interrupt, but I wanted to get that out there.
Oh, you're good. You're good. So I am not a I would never be a good public speaker. I get so nervous having attention drawn to me. I am not good at public speaking or anything like that. So going up onto the stage, I was really nervous. First because I've never opened a first edition base pack. So I was nervous about that, and then just having the attention on me, I was nervous about. So I get up to the stage, and Gary's up there with me. So that's always cool to talk to him and be with him. Of course, he brings up my No Damage Ninetales collection, which was awesome. But then he hands me the 3 packs, and I see the Shadowless, or I forget what one of them was a Venusaur. So I kind of pointed that one out to John. I don't know if you noticed that, because I figured that was going to be the one that had the hollow in it. I forget if that one was the first edition or the Shadowless, but anyway, so I opened my unlimited pack first, and that one has, I don't even remember what it had. It had a rare trainer in it, of some sort. But one thing that I noticed, like, or that I heard afterwards, I forget the YouTube channel name. I want to say it was Poke Knowledge Cards, or something. I completely forget his channel name, but he watches our channel, so now I feel bad. But he was talking. He did like a video about he called it's a knee jerk reaction to Pokemon Saves the World event, and in that video he was saying that where we all opened in an unlimited base pack, a Shadowless base pack, and a first edition base pack, the unlimited pack, I don't know if you felt the same way, but the unlimited pack almost felt like, okay, whatever, let's move on to the Shadowless. And that's what he was talking about within his video, and that was absolutely 100% the case for me too. I've opened a decent bit of unlimited packs, so I opened the unlimited pack, got a rare trainer. Okay, whatever, let's move on to the Shadowless. I was really excited about, because Shadowless is by far my favorite set. Was hoping to get a hollow in the Shadowless, but I ended up pulling I think I got another non-hollow trainer. I should have brought my cards down here with me. I'm pretty sure I did get a non-hollow trainer. I'm jealous now, but that was a little disappointing. But then we have the first edition base pack, and like Dan was saying, I'm assuming that there's going to be a hollow in the pack. So I get to opening the first edition base pack, and the unlimited and the Shadowless packs, I did pretty good. My hands were pretty steady. By the time I got to the first edition pack, my hands were shaking so bad. I was shaking like a leaf opening that pack. And I did the card trick on the first 2 packs. And then I forgot to do it on the first edition pack. So I'm going through all the cards in the first edition pack. I actually pulled a Squirtle, which was awesome, because that's what I told you I had wanted outside of a hollow, was a Squirtle. And then you said Charmander for yours. So I did get the common that I wanted, and then I ended up pulling a first edition Zapdos, which was really, really cool, because being able to pull a hollow from my first edition base pack was absolutely awesome. And Zapdos is a decent hollow. I'll take that over Magneton.
Yeah. Nice random hollow you picked to point
out. but yeah, after we opened the packs, I basically walked off the stage, and my one regret there is, so after the event, there's been a bunch of people that have asked what I think the Zapdos is going to grade. And I honestly have no idea because I didn't look at the card when we submitted into PSA, who had a booth right there. It was dark outside, and we were talking to PSA, talking to each other. There were other people around. My phone was blowing up with a bunch of people texting me. So I honestly couldn't tell you what the Zapdos. It could have a giant crease in it, and I wouldn't know. But yeah, I wish I took a look at the Zapdos. I'm dying to know what that's going to grade. Hopefully it comes back a 10. But do you want to go into your portion of the your portion of
Yeah.
the packs?
So I'll start with the near disaster that was averted. And I guess another person we forgot to mention that we met, or I met for the first time, but Pokeju, Michael, met him Friday night and talked a little bit. And then, yeah, so we were slots 27 and 29. But I mentioned earlier, since I won both the packs at Golden, both were under my name. But earlier on in the event, I went up and I said, hey, for 27, can you cross me off? And can you put Nick, old school Pokemon, right here? He's going to open that one. So for some reason, I thought in doing that they were going to like physically separate, because someone had a pack in between us that was going to be opened by the Dogecoin millionaire went up
Oh yeah, yep.
with Pokeju and maybe someone else. But Bonnie, maybe Bodangers, another person I met.
I think she was up there. Yeah.
So yeah, once you went off, they went up. In my mind, I was assuming, okay, this is 28. This is their pack they're opening. Well, I look up on stage, and was it Chris, the dumb money guy?
Yeah. Yep.
He still had an envelope with my name on it. And I looked over at the board, and my name was crossed off at 27 and at 29. And then I looked over on the other table, and the 28 packs were there.
Oh, see, I
So
didn't notice that part of it.
yeah, while that was
Okay.
happening, this pack was opened, the unlimited one. And the Dogecoin millionaire, he was opening my unlimited pack, which, like you said, it's unlimited. Years ago, I opened like 10 or more boxes. I pulled several Charizard, so it was a lass, whatever. But like,
Yeah, but normally opening an unlimited base box is exciting. But with
yeah,
this event where it was Shadowless and first edition, it was okay, whatever.
yeah. Well, when he had just opened mine, as I was finding out, like, oh my God, 28 is here. Those are my packs. I talked to the lady who's running the board. I'm like, hey, those are my packs. I gotta get up there. Like, I didn't want to burst on stage and like cause a scene, but she spoke over to Chris. Hey, you gotta listen to this guy quick. And I'm like, yeah, that thing in your hand, those are my cards, those are my packs. I get up on stage. Like, if you look closely at the stream, you can actually see me over to the left at one point, talking to him. And he's just like, oh, really sorry about that. And I'm like, it's whatever. It's the unlimited pack. I don't really care. I'm opening those Shadowless and first edition packs though. Oh, well, we already got these guys up here. Do you mind if they just open that and you can open? I'm like, no, these ones are my cards. He's like, do you want to let Pokeju open the Shadowless one? And I'm like, no, I'm getting in here for these ones. And I'm like, they opened one, so they'll get four. Like, if we let them finish these, they're only getting three. If we put them onto theirs, they got one of mine, plus they're getting three more. So I'm like, let's do that. That sounds better.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Thankfully, that all, like, I interjected, got in there. It was a little bit of an awkward handoff, but I don't think anybody really noticed.
You couldn't really tell on the stream.
Yeah,
it was pretty seamless on the stream.
I didn't have anybody question and ask me like, hey, why'd you only open 2 packs? But I slid in there for the Shadowless pack. And I actually forgot to ask you after you finish your story, but did you have anyone watching from home? Like, obviously a lot of Pokemon people, but were like your parents watching or anything? Or
No, they were They were in bed already, I think.
So I told a few of my buddies from back home, and I told my parents. Apparently my grandparents actually were visiting my parents that night. So
Man,
like
you had your whole family watching you. I didn't have
my,
anyone.
my sister was watching at her house with her family. One of my buddies from college was watching at his house. He actually said his wife like had a friend over. So like
Man.
he was watching it with his wife and a random guy. He's like, they were getting into it. They were like getting hyped with the hollow poles and stuff. And so I've got like
Awesome.
this, I've got like three different households watching it back at home. And I go up and I when you mentioned the arts, I remembered I had them on my shelf over here. I never even realized, John, radar, Shadowless Venusaur pack. I don't have it with me because it's at PSA. My wife kind of made fun of me. She's like, yeah, everyone throughout the whole stream was like slow rolling it. They were going real slow. And then you just like ripped through them. Like apparently I was going really fast. But yeah, I had a fire energy and a Charmeleon.
Oh,
I would
that's a
I
sign
would have
right there.
traded I would have traded the Charmeleon for a Charmander, but I got the
Charmeleon's just not
Charizard.
as cool.
I went through them. I did the pack trick. I got the Charizard and it was crazy. Like I feel like I like blacked out for a little bit. Like I was not remotely drunk. I wasn't like not remote, but just like I had to watch back and I'm like, I don't even remember how I reacted. I was like, oh baby or something. I like kind of leaned back and Gary gave a little bit of reaction, but it was nowhere near the reaction that Super Duper Danny got when she opened the Charizard. But it was a pretty decent reaction from the crowd. And just like again, I went into it knowing that my odds after Nick opened a non-hollow, I knew my odds were like 1 in 3 supposedly for the Shadowless and the Unlimited. So I had no real expectation that I was going to get a hollow there. And getting the Charizard, it's like right when I saw it, it was like elation, just so happy, so pumped, so
Oh
excited,
yeah,
shaking
absolutely.
so much. But I did get that into the sleeve fine, got it into the card saver. A little bit off center, a little bit of issues with it, whatever. But it was a Charizard. Immediately, it's like, there's no way. Like, I don't know if it's ever been done on camera. Am I going to be the first one to ever do this? Shadowless first edition Charizard back to back would have
That would
just
have been
been
sweet.
that would have been absurd.
Or I guess might have been
Yeah,
because
might have
people
been. I
people
still
don't know
didn't
what you
tell
got
you.
yet.
I still didn't tell you. But so, anyways, Charizard art first edition pack. We got when I opened the pack, I remember I said fire energy. That must be a good omen, right? So it's like I had a fire energy in my shadowless pack. Really nothing else good for commons and uncommons. But I get to the back. If you look at it like, because I watched it like 5 times, if you look at it, when I got to like the third to last card, I accidentally slid it over and then I straightened it back out. But you could see it was yellow and you could actually see a little bit of Magnemite. It was Magneton. We both got the electric energy first edition cards. You definitely got the better one, but no way I can complain after
Oh no,
opening a
definitely
Shadowless
not.
Charizard. So in the past, I had opened Shadowless packs. I opened a box worth of heavy Shadowless. I opened 12 Shadowless packs, no Charizards years ago. I had only ever opened one base first edition heavy pack, and it was a PSA 8 Ninetales off center print line, got an 8. I don't own it anymore. And I've kind of like felt weird. Like I kind of like, man, that's the only one I opened. That's the only one I might ever open. I shouldn't have sold it. I don't think I'll sell this Magneton. I do have a PSA 9 Magneton in my personal collection. So if it gets a 9, I'll probably just swap out. But yeah, we do jointly own these. So once we get the grades, we'll have to discuss what we're gonna do with all of them.
And man, the premium I'm gonna charge you on that Charizard.
I'm gonna have to
That's gonna
buy
be a
you out of
million
that.
dollar Charizard right there.
I'm gonna have to buy you out of it. So one thing we found, which I was a little bummed out about afterwards, but we submitted 4 to PSA, full $150 a piece, plus up charges if applicable. we submitted Charizard, Magneton for me, and then your Squirtle and Zapdos.
Mm-hmm.
They only get the pedigree label if they hit the 10, which
I
was
was,
that was news to both of us.
yeah, I was super bummed out by that because the only reason I submitted the Squirtle at $150 was for the pedigree, so I had something to remember the event by. Um, it
Which
maybe it could get a 10 and still get the pedigree, but
keep it anyways. You're always gonna
oh
remember
no,
that. That's the
I'm
one you
definitely
did.
holding on to
So
that, yeah, for sure.
yeah,
But it would have been nice to have that Pokemon Saves the World label on it,
it
and
probably
maybe it still will.
if we get
Still got
no
my fingers crossed.
10s, then we can take solace in the fact that it would have been like PK, MN, SVS. It would have been horribly abbreviated. You wouldn't have even known what it said or meant. And but if we get it, it'll be beautiful and awesome.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And those are actually in QA too. So it's only been a little over a week. I don't know if they're gonna like slightly expedite it because the complete through dates, I think Show Express is like a month almost. It might take 3 weeks in QA too.
Well, I did a an express PSA sub, just myself, and it only took about 3 weeks for me.
So yeah, what was it that long? Was it like 2 weeks of those three in QA two?
I actually don't remember. I'm not good about checking PSA site. I mailed them off and then got an email saying that they were received, and then the next time I looked, or next email I got was saying your grades are ready. So that's the next time I went onto the PSA website.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if this would be expedited or favored in any way because like we handed them to the PSA rep and just left, which was a little weird to like not fly home with the Charizard. And
Yeah,
but
I was kind of nervous about that.
yeah,
Obviously,
I'm
you know
like,
they're legitimate, but just hand your cards off to a random guy.
what if he loses that sticky note? Like I literally wrote my name and
Exactly.
number on a sticky note, and my handwriting is terrible. Like there's a decent chance he's not going to read this number and not get a hold of me. Um, but I got a call. I got a call from him
Monday.
Monday night. Yeah, I was actually out for dinner. It was like the last day of this little ice cream shop that does like fried foods and stuff too. So I was out for dinner and took the call. Surprised they called that quick, but the guy like manually entered them for me over the phone.
Wow.
Yeah, he asked for my name and stuff, my account. He went into my account and he did the submission for me. And then later that night, I checked the submission. It was already like pushed into grading. So by next podcast, we should hopefully have them.
Oh, we
If not
better
in
have them by
hand,
then.
we should at least have the grades, I would hope.
Yeah,
That'll be exciting.
that will be. That will be. I'm dying to know what the grades are on that.
That's funny though. I didn't even think about it. I'm gonna have to message John tomorrow and
I gotta look. Maybe it was my first edition pack that was Venusaur. I'll have to look and
I'm gonna go buy out eBay of all the heavy
all the
Venusaur
Venusaur
packs.
packs. That's funny. That's funny.
Uh,
uh, but yeah, overall that was a really fun event.
my phone too, like you said, because I had obviously Discord, Instagram. I had some people message me on eBay. It was really funny. Like, hey man, I saw you at the event. Congrats on the Charizard. I'm like, this is eBay, man. What are you doing? It was funny. It was funny, but like my phone, it felt like my phone, like the next 20 minutes straight was just going off with I just saw my grandma and my grandpa at like a little cookout at my dad's house a few days like Saturday night.
Mhm.
And my grandma was like so hyped. She's like, when are you doing that again? That was so exciting. And were those cards you pulled good? They seemed like they were good. People got excited and it was so funny. Like the memories from that, how much value. It's funny too. Like we pulled 2 first edition hollows. We pulled a shadowless Charizard, and it's very likely we're gonna lose money.
I would say it's guaranteed we're gonna lose money.
Like the Charizard was off center and it had some dots on the back. Feels like an 8. 8's like $3,000. Say, I mean, even if Zapdos and Magneton both got 10s, which my Magneton had print lines, I don't remember your Zapdos either. So even if they both pulled 10s, we're under 20 grand. I mean, we had 20 grand on the 2 sets of packs. So
Yeah.
and I was looking, I haven't even sleeved them yet, which is bad. I've got to do that. But like,
You haven't even sleeved those yet? You
no,
left sleeves in the hotel room.
I know. Some of these, if I quit handling them, some of these might be PSA 10s.
Not anymore.
And those are a few $100 a piece.
Yep.
So 5 years from now, when PSA grading's $25 again, maybe we could get another couple grand out of cards like that. But whatever. I mean, I was so happy with the money spent there. The whole
that was well worth it, just for the experience.
Yeah. So after we pulled them, we talked to PSA. AGS grading was actually there. And
That's right. Yep.
They didn't have the sonic welder for actually like closing the cases. So I didn't want to put anything in the cases and then risk like crimping them or anything.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they would have done it for free, they said.
Yeah.
Some people did it and then they were actually at Collecticon this weekend. So they took them to Collecticon and then had them sealed, which I would have done if I was going to, maybe, but I still would have worried about getting them crimped.
I wouldn't have worried about that so much. Where they had the perfect fit sleeve, it looked pretty snug in there.
I don't know what was holding it together. I think the only thing holding it together was they put it in like a graded card sleeve at the end. Like I don't think.
I think that was it.
That feels a little dicey to me.
I think that's fine.
Going into a bag through, like, I didn't check a bag or anything. I only had a backpack. I didn't even have like a carry-on. So it would have been in my backpack. It probably would have been fine, but I don't know. I was a little worried about it.
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna maybe do an AGS submission just to try it in the next couple of weeks. So I might just send some. I met that guy too. I forget his name, but I talked to him a decent amount Friday night.
Yeah, I was gonna say he was there Friday. Yep. I forget his name too. Really cool guys though.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see what happens with them. I almost think that they're going to sell their technology to CGC, PSA, BGS, whoever. Little side tangent there. I think they want to get into grading right now just to kind of prove the technology, and then once they get big, they're going to sell off to one of the bigger grading companies. I've always thought that about them.
That's the kind of thing. Like if they really have something that works, it doesn't even need to be something PSA wants to use. Like the amount of money they have, they can just buy something for $10 million to just make it go away.
Yeah, exactly.
They could like retire the people, have them set for life, and then just, yep, we own this. We're gonna throw it in the trash.
Throw it in the dumpster out back.
But yeah, after the event, we kind of hung out. There were still a couple packs left. A Venusaur was pulled in the last pack, I think, right?
I don't think anyone was watching at that point.
Yeah, like
I didn't hear much of a cheer at all for the Venusaur.
We went back hanging out with like Classics and Z and G, and then we were both on our phones for a bit, like talking to everyone that was blowing up our phone. And then we were trying to figure out dinner too. This is where we come back to. I had my mindset on Caesar's Buffet. I went to Vegas when I was 15 with my family. We did like the Grand Canyon. We did Vegas. We did some shows. I was 15. I wasn't drinking. I wasn't gambling, obviously. Vegas was still an amazing time then. We ate so much food. The buffets were amazing. We go to Caesar's though, Nick and I, and 214th in line.
It was ridiculous.
The place closed in like an hour and a half. and we waited like 15 minutes, and we went from like 214 to 210 or something. So it's like, this isn't gonna happen.
Was not gonna happen. Not our night for that.
We ended up hitting up Zach and Mike, Jem Mitt, and Professor O'Calley. We went to an amazing steakhouse. Really, I mean, buffet would have been amazing too, I'm sure, but the steakhouse was amazing.
It was really good.
$100 steaks. Dry aged though, ribeyes, right? Bone-in ribeyes.
Yeah.
So good.
And then we got king crab legs to start. That was actually really good too. It was not worth the amount of money they charged for that with what you actually got, but that was really good.
$50 a half pound.
Yeah, exactly.
Zach orders a pound of it. Okay, let's go for it.
And then those Brussels sprouts too. Those were actually
good.
really
the
good.
The cheese was really good. The bread, the bartender waiter. We ate at the bar. That guy was really cool.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't think they wanted us sitting in the restaurant.
Little couple. Yeah, cool couple next to us though. They were really cool. We talked to them a little bit. Kind of like living the retired life that I could see myself doing someday. They rented or bought an RV and they're just like traveling the country. They're like, yeah, we were at Sturgis a few weeks back, and then we went to Nebraska or whatever state it was for this balloon festival, chasing balloons around the state and like hot air balloons. And
did you catch Mike's cough? I was dying. I forget what it was though. It was something to do with a casket. I forget. With the balloons. I forget. I wish I remembered that because I was like
talking about the guy in the basket, and Mike thought he said casket. Yeah. He's like, those aren't called caskets, are they? Something like that. I don't know. Because the guy was talking about one of the balloons had a power line or something, which like thankfully everyone everyone was okay, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. That was hot air balloons are something I've not done, and I really do want to do at some point. I mean, I went skydiving when I graduated college, and that was amazing. That was amazing.
I would never do skydiving.
It was like $400. I actually did an advanced one where like you pay more, and I had to go to a couple classes. I jumped alone. I wasn't even strapped.
Really?
Yeah, the way you do it, you jump out of the plane and you have like handles on your side. So two guys were at my side for the first 10,000 feet. And then at like a mile up, I pulled my own chute. Like they're there in case you like pass out or something.
Oh yeah.
They'll pull your chute for you, and then you're still on your own at that point. You just hope you don't drift into a power line or a lake. Or I mean, it's like, so I think I free fell for like 60 or 90 seconds. And then at 5,000 feet, the parachute down was like 12 to 15 minutes.
Really?
So had I passed out and they pulled my chute at like 10,000 feet, it would have been like half an hour or something. Like I very well could have been 15 miles away. Like if I had just went in a straight line.
Yeah.
But yeah, kind of getting off on a tangent. But yeah, like it really, really great dinner. It made me not miss the buffet as much. Yeah. And then from there, I think we did the usual blackjack tables, rounds of drinks.
built the second your extended wing at the Park MGM casino.
That's where they really got me good, because I was on like a high. I was on a high from the Zard pull and the hollow base first pull. My luck ended after that last pack was open, because I left some money in it. Nothing crazy. I mean, I went with like a budget. I went with a certain amount of cash. Like I'm allowed to lose this much, and I didn't lose it all, so that's good.
That's good. That's what counts there. That's all that counts.
Yeah. Great time though.
And then we ended the night off with another stromboli for you. So that was good.
We did pizza at the same place again. We actually saw, so some people, it was Vegas, a lot was going on. Aoki He had a concert that night, actually right across the way from where the pizza place was in MGM. So when we were there eating pizza, like he walked out with his posse, his crew. It was cool to see him walk by and go, but like a handful of Pokemon people actually went. Some of them went as like public in the crowd at the concert, but some of them were like rolling as VIPs backstage. Rob, Laura, and John,
Yeah,
I think, all went backstage with a handful of others.
that was the. I wish we didn't have to leave when by the time we opened our packs, because
Yeah, he
he
wasn't still on stage
yeah, he
for
had to leave
ours.
to get ready to go to his show or whatever.
Yeah, I think they definitely went slower overall. That's what I said to my wife when she said something about my packs being open too quick. I'm like, I got straight to business. If everyone
Yeah.
opened the way that I did, we would have Aoki still would have been there when we
Hmm.
were opening, and it all would have ended an hour earlier when it was
Yeah,
supposed to.
I
But
almost think it was a little too long. It was a long event, but being in Vegas too, where there's just so much to do, probably a poor venue choice.
yeah, it was restrictive, I think, because I think they were really limited in how many people they had allowed in and stuff. It was an outdoor venue though. It was nice.
Yeah, that part was nice. Yeah,
But yeah, I mean Gary, I think, talked about potentially trying to do something annually. It would be really cool if like a Vegas thing turned into an annual event, because that was a lot of fun.
I don't know how cool that would be to the wallet though.
Yeah, yeah.
That was an expensive vacation.
We could, I mean, we went to the 25 and $50 tables. We could have gone slightly down the strip further or off strip and done $10 tables and probably made out better, but
Yeah, exactly.
it was fun.
Oh, it was well worth the experience there. Well worth it.
I think we went in early Saturday night too. We only stayed out till about 4:30 or so.
Yeah, I was gonna say it wasn't that much earlier.
Packed it in early. And then I flew out at 1, which oof, the airport was actually scary. Um, I flew out at 1. There was a game though. I didn't even think about it.
I didn't either.
The
Yeah.
Vegas Raiders were like a mile away, and I pulled up a Lyft and I called for a lift, and it's like, oh yeah, be there in 5 minutes. It took 45.
Man.
So I thought I was leaving myself like 2 hours from when I started trying to get there. 45 minutes knocked off the top. So I'm at the airport with like 45 minutes to go, maybe, because the drive that was supposed to be 15 minutes, like 3 roads were closed. She had to drive all the way around wherever. I get to the airport with like 45 minutes to go.
Man.
The line is crazy long, but it's moving. And then they close down one of the security gates and we start like crawling. I'm like, hey, my flight starts boarding in 15 minutes and this hasn't moved in 10. He's like, if I let everybody through who said that, everyone would go through, and like he's like, I can't do anything. So
Jesus.
one girl next to me, she's like, yeah, mine starts boarding in 5 minutes.
Oh my
And I'm
god.
like, we're at least 20 minutes away from getting to security, and then we've got to go through it, and then we gotta like I had to go 2 gates and she had to go like 6.
Mm-hmm.
So I just like talked my way. Like some people heard us talking, oh, we don't leave for 3 hours, come ahead of us. So I like we talked our way up the line a little bit, and we,
There
we
we go.
we picked up a couple more people that were like on our flights, and people just like, people were really nice. They're like, yeah, we don't have to go anywhere, we're not gonna go ahead of us. We got ahead of maybe 30 or 40 people, and the line started moving again, and we got through. I like booked it to mine, and they were boarding. I don't know if she ended up making it to hers. Hopefully she did, the one that I was talking to first, but they were boarding group 8 out of 9. when I got to my thing.
Yeah.
I was gonna stop and maybe pick up something for my kids. I was gonna get a bite to eat. I was gonna go to the bathroom. None of that. I ran to my thing. And by the time I sat down on the plane, it was still like 10 minutes until they like actually lock the door. And like, so I had 10 minutes to spare,
Yeah.
but I was looking on my phone. There were no additional flights out that night. Like
It's great. I think a big part of that was the whole Southwest thing.
yeah.
Southwest actually had a lot of planes going in and out of there. But where Southwest like shut down
Yep.
that weekend, I think that was a big part of it.
I was gonna be in rough shape if I missed it, because I could have gotten out of Vegas to somewhere, but like I live in the woods in central New York, so like I flew into Syracuse. There was nothing else in I could have gotten to Syracuse from. Like it would have been bad. My wife would have killed me. uh,
Oh man, yeah. I left at 9:30 that night. That was a rough flight. That was the only option I could find. But I was dozing in and out of that whole flight. And then Monday I was just a zombie all of Monday. Slept really good when I got home at 8 in the morning.
yeah, I got home about midnight. Well, I got to the airport at about midnight, home by 1, and then I did sleep in because it was Columbus Day. So
Mhm.
my wife had the day off. I think she let me sleep till like 10, and then the kids jumped in on the bed and woke me up. So I had 9 hours of sleep that night, but then it was a lazy day, just kind of hung out at home, didn't do much, and then right back into it on Tuesday up at 7:30 for a regular work day.
Yeah, I did my regular workday Tuesday. Was not up at 7:30, but it was a regular workday. Oh man. But no, super fun trip. I really enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Great to finally meet you in person again, because it's been a while since we've met or we've been able to see each other.
Over 2 years. Yeah. It
Yeah.
was, I remember a month or so ago, I was seeing memories on my phone, like Google Photos. Hey, 2 years ago, you took this picture of the big Pikachu at Washington,
Oh
D.C.
yeah. Oh yeah.
And then some of the, like on Facebook, some of the, I think I was tagged in a couple of photos by some of the E4 guys. So I was seeing those memories there too. But I guess talking about worlds, like they actually came out with a regional schedule today or yesterday.
Did
Did
they?
you see that? Yep.
I did not see that. No.
It looks optimistic that they're going to actually start doing events and hopefully have 2022 worlds.
That'd be nice.
Whether or not I go, I think it's great that they're going to have it, because like if I do go, hey, I'm going to 2022 worlds. If I don't go, it makes it more likely that like 2023 actually comes back to the US, because
Exactly.
2020 London, 2021 London, 2022 London. I do not want to see, like, whether I go or not, I do not want to see 2022 canceled to see 2023 London.
Yeah, no.
That will suck.
Not gonna happen. Yeah,
So
I think London's just a curse. They need to bring it back to the States. Preferably
yeah,
Boston.
that was my hope.
I think they will keep it London though. Until things settle out.
Probably.
They're actually able to have it.
My goal as far as events go, I'm eyeing it, but like not committed yet. I would like to go to the Legends Expo. It was supposed to happen actually
This
this coming weekend. That got pushed off to April sometime, late April, maybe
I think
early
it's
May.
late April, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the last weekend in April, bridging into May. a little bit or really close to it. So I'm gonna eye that one and hopefully make that work because I would like to go to 2 to 4 events a year, I guess I'd say. Because it's a lot. It's
It is a lot, yeah.
it's a lot of money. It's a lot of like effort to get out there. Vegas especially is a lot. I don't anticipate anything like going as hard as I went there at any of them. But
I don't know though if you go out with Zach again. Me and
yeah,
Zach.
yeah, but Virginia, right? What
That one, I definitely want to try and go to that one. Because that one would be drivable. I feel like that one would be a good event to vend at.
pick me up on the way.
The way. Come
Come 4
come
hours west and then go down 12 hours.
just come meet me in Mass.
Is it 12 for you? Is it closer to like 10 maybe?
DC was 12. So I think it's going to be right around 12 because I think Richmond's right next to DC.
I think we're both 12 then. I didn't know if you were going to be a little bit closer, but maybe not. I think we're both 12 from it.
Yeah, because I kind of have to go like this, and you're probably just straight down.
Yeah. Pick me up on the way.
Oh man. I want to try and go to that though for sure. No, that's in April. We're probably the only two happy people about that, but I am super happy that got pushed back to April. Because I did want to go to that. Because I think there's gonna be a lot of E4 people there where it's Charlie's event and people going to support him, and I think it will be a cool event too. But I wasn't gonna be able to make it with Vegas being so shortly afterwards. So having it be next year, I'm excited for that. Definitely want to try and make that one.
Yeah, I was definitely not going to be there if it was this weekend. I didn't even intend to travel when I went to Vegas, like just with the pandemic stuff. I always said my threshold was like kids being able to be vaccinated, but I masked for the first couple days at home, like when I wasn't in my office, when I wasn't in my bedroom, and then I actually got tested. Right now, I don't know how nasally I still sound, but the video I recorded that'll go live Monday of a PSA return, I sounded worse. But yeah, I got tested. It's not COVID. It's just allergies and stuff. And I mowed my lawn today too, so it's even worse.
Oh yeah. And then I would like to make a few collecticons too next year. See where those are happening. I was talking to one of the event organizers, and he said they're planning a few for next year, and then with the possibility of one being in Boston, which I would absolutely love that being the case.
I think New York too, right?
I think he said no one would want to go to New York, but no, I actually forget the other places he said. I just heard Boston and got super excited. But he said it was like all over the country.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see myself like if Charlie's becomes an annual thing, I could see myself trying to make that one of my regulars, and then Worlds maybe one Collecticon, and then have like a wild card, either a second Collecticon or if something else came up that was big. Like this Vegas was kind of
yeah.
And if that becomes an annual thing, maybe that's one of them. I don't know. I'll have to see. But for me, long term, like 4 feels like tops, like once a quarter.
Yeah.
Because traveling's a lot.
It is. And especially if you're vending, having to pick out what you're going to bring and set it all back up when you get home.
Yeah.
It's a long process. And then even if you don't do like vending, just like catching up on emails when you get back home.
Oh yeah.
It was craziness. Because I tell myself this every single trip that I'll get up in the morning, answer all my emails,
Never.
and then be like caught up. And that it did happen the
Impossible.
first day. Thursday morning, I actually responded to everyone, but after that, I did not respond to anyone
Because then
whatsoever.
I came and the party started.
That is true. That is true. Yeah, until Friday, I was just sitting in the room twiddling my thumbs. Oh, one thing I did forget to mention. Um, we went to, I forget the name of the place. I think it was just Gordon Ramsay Burger, but it was Gordon Ramsay's burger restaurant in Vegas, which he has a ton of restaurants in Vegas. But we went to his burger place. We waited like an hour to get in there, and it was probably one of the greatest burgers I have ever had. It was so good. Got that in a nice little Oreo cookie milkshake. So good. It was really expensive, but it was well worth it for sure. But
Like
I think
how much was that meal?
the burgers were like $30, and then the shakes were like 15, and then we split an order of fries, which were like 10.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like everything in Vegas is really really expensive.
I know when I went like off strip, there are some
I
killer
bet you.
buffets. I remember we did some buffets that had like crab legs, whole lobsters, prime rib, like everything you can imagine. And I want to say they were like $20 because they were getting you there for the food and then presuming you'd gamble.
Yep, yep.
But yeah, like on strip, like we went to the MGM steakhouse. I forget what it was called.
I have no idea.
Cavetas or something like that. I don't remember. Something with a C and a V in there, maybe. Um,
Maybe.
but I think there's cheap food around there that's pretty good, but whatever. Like I'm fine spending money on food as long as it's really good. And that steak, the barbecue was really good too. I mean, had some good food out there.
Yeah, I would say everything we ate out there was really really good. Definitely a good trip overall. I was happy to have gone.
Yeah,
Can't wait to go again. It was a great time,
yeah, definitely.
but definitely won't happen for a long time. Got to recoup. Got to sell some cards before I can venture out there again.
Yeah, definitely.
But that's all I've got. I have a feeling we're 2 hours and 40 minutes in, so
This is a new record, but I think it had to be with all these
we
questions.
blew
And
away
then
our old record.
I knew we were headed for 3 hours with this one. And hopefully for the people who stuck around, hopefully it was fun to
Yeah.
live vicariously through us hearing about Vegas.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. No, it was a blast with the two people who still stuck it out till the end. I know Celebi will watching till the end. Celebi
Yep.
will be
Shout out
watching.
Celebi Collectibles.
Oh man. But yeah, no, it was a fun chat. I was looking forward to this one. Can't wait to do it again in 2 weeks.
Yep. Yeah, likewise. Anybody who's still here, feel free to leave a comment for suggestions for conversations for the next podcast or any questions. As always, I think that's it. We'll catch you all later.
Have a good one.